What's going on? Good morning. It's Matt, and I am back. And I'm back for a month, and man, it feels amazing. So I want to tell you my takeaways, what I learned from being gone 20 of the last 25 days. I guess 20 of 25 days. I've been home a day. So it's been a pretty crazy ride the last month, and I learned a lot of stuff. And part of me regrets doing what I did with regards to the time I took away and went and traveled for the business, because all of these trips were business. The other part of me realizes I wouldn't have learned the lessons I needed to learn to grow my business, to grow myself personally without doing what I did. I think a lot of us, the saying is you got to fall to get up. And I want to go through my notes and walk through what I did, what I learned, and why I think all of you should listen to this to help grow your business. And by the way, yes, that is a giant mat. It is a mat head on a stick that my man Raul gave me in California. So let me walk through the trip and what it entailed. So number one, 25 days, gone 20 of them, home 5. 2 driving trips, Nashville and St. Louis, 1,200 miles. 3 flights, or I guess 6 flights on 9 planes. So back and forth 3 times, 6 flights, 9 different planes. 9 hotels and 1 $3.5 million mansion. Can't go wrong with that. Thank you, Airbnb. Where was that years ago? 30 sessions that I went to on professional development over those trips. And here's the key part in that. I could have went to about 90, but I know what lane I'm in and which ones to avoid and what not to overload here. So 30 sessions, 40 plus meetings with my ideal clients, hundreds of conversations, probably close to 1,000 conversations with my ideal clients. Many conversations and dinners with CEOs of pretty big brands. And over 200 of my books in the ideal people, prospects' hands, ideal referral partners and prospects. So those are the key metrics. Now I'm going to walk you through my takeaways, because that's the key thing. That's really why I was sitting down here this morning reflecting on the last month, because it was tough. I'm not going to lie. Sleep was hard to come by. The proper nutrition was a joke. My exercise wasn't really on point, because when I did get it, it just wasn't where it was at, just because of lack of sleep, lack of nutrition, and also just things in my mind. Being away from the family, there was a lot of things in there that were tough, but at the same time, there was a lot of things that were awesome. So let me walk you through what I learned. And these are in no particular order, and these are literally just things that popped in my head as I was thinking this morning. Number one, this is the funniest one. I now know why people wear masks on planes. I've gotten on many planes over the past couple years, because up until about 3 years ago, I would fly once or twice a year for vacation. This past couple years, I've flown 100 plus times. And you get on the plane, you see the weird person with the face mask on. And you're like, seriously, bro? Like, what's going on? This past month, realized I need to be flying with one. I got pretty lucky. I never got sick in almost 4 weeks. I guess 3 weeks, 25 days, 3.5 weeks. My wife and son were sick for a lot of it, so that was good. I was away from home at least for that, but I was home when they were sick many times. I had a dude on the plane that wouldn't quit coughing for, not joking, 3 hours. And numerous times I offered him cough drops, and I was stuck next to him. And at one point, I slept with my jacket over my head and actually hung out on the plane for a couple hours. And we got off the plane. I think it was Tanya and Doug, who were behind me, had asked, what were you doing up there? I'm like, dude, cougherson next to me. I wasn't getting what he had. So I now know why people wear masks, and I'm going to try and convince myself to start doing it. As weird as I may look, judging myself, I see why they're doing it. Number 2, again, these are in no order, just came in my head. Friends are priceless. Friends in the same path as you are priceless. I'm fortunate, I guess fortunate and unfortunate. Number 1, I'm probably unfortunate. I look back that I don't hang out with enough people at home. Like I don't have many acquaintances. I have a few close friends. I don't hang out with enough people. When I travel, I do. I've got so many friends from around the world that are on the exact path as me, and I get to hang out with them outside of business, and that's proven priceless. I wish I had more of them locally, and there actually are a few of them locally. I need to spend more time, be more deliberate about being in front of from a friend standpoint, because that is priceless, and those conversations and just the motivation and the energy that comes from that. Number 3, being away from family sucks. I can't tell you how tough it was, not getting to give Cole and Paige a hug goodnight and give them a hug when they wake up. It was tough. And, the big thing it really showed me, though, also, was that I need to take advantage of the time when I'm home more often. Like yesterday, I went to the Ryle State Championship game with my wife, and Paige was cheering, and the Ryle girls go Raiders, Lady Raiders, state champs in basketball, Kentucky. Unbelievable team. But on the way there, I decided, and this isn't a hard decision, but if you know me, it's who I am. I left my phone in the car, and we got to the game an hour early. The game was, if I had to guess, probably 2.5, 3 hours long. And so when we got back in the car, I sat in the back seat because, of course, Paige called shotgun. So I'm in the back seat and I said, "Hey, do me a favor, hand me my phone." And Christy looked at me and she's like, "Has your phone been in the car the whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she was blown away because, like, Matt with his phone is like a common thing. And it really showed me, like, on this trip, I got to thinking about it. I don't know what clicked, or I heard somebody saying it, that, when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, be with them. Don't be on their device. Like, I go to Vegas this next week. I leave for 4 days with some friends to go to Las Vegas for March Madness. And that's one of the things I've thought about. You know what? There's no reason I need my phone when we're in the casino, when we're going on this hike we're going to go on. It's useless. Be in the moment. And so that was a big thing I take away, that I need to start being more intentional with the time I spend with my family and friends, that it's with them, not with Matt and a phone or an iPad or a laptop, that it's with them. 4, having hundreds of conversations with your ideal clients can help shape your ideas better than anything else. I know that sounds obvious, but this program I've created, the ROI Engine, that I'm working with restaurants all over the world on, was created by me for clients that were paying me to help them get people into the restaurant. And a lot of the ideas behind it were shaped by Matt Plapp of what a marketer wants, what a marketer knows is needed by a restaurant. But I'm not a restaurateur. And I've had thousands of conversations with restaurateurs, and some of these conversations are a little shaped because they know me, they trust me, they like me, and so they believe what I tell them, and they should, but there's not as much pushback or questions because they're putting it in my hands. On this trip, I got to be in front of hundreds, probably 1,000 plus restaurant owners in about 5 different cities, especially the Vegas Pizza Expo and the Midwest Food Expo up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I got to have conversations with people who, for the most part, didn't know Matt Plapp, didn't trust Matt Plapp, didn't like Matt Plapp. Not that they won't like me, trust me, or now they know me, but I was a new entity to them. And being able to have conversations with them about what they see, what they're doing, and how they're doing it really helped me shape my conversation. I was close. A year ago, I was here with what I was doing. I had a great product, but my conversation was here. The restaurant owners, what they needed to hear was here. I kept coming closer, and then these trips allowed me to fine-tune that message and understand how to explain to them, because we're both wanted the same thing, butts in the seats, revenue in the register. But a lot of times you talk over their head. I don't need a chef to tell me everything he did to cook the steak. I just want a kick-ass steak. They're the same way. They want butts in the seats. They don't need to know everything. And so these conversations helped me shape this. And then also on the other side, agencies, because I also coach agencies, as you know. And I had hundreds and hundreds of conversations with agencies at the ClickFunnels event, at Traffic and Conversions, at the Vegas event, at the event in Wisconsin this past weekend in St. Louis. I got to talk to hundreds and hundreds of people that are on the same path as me and understand their struggles on time management, on sales, on talking to clients, on getting clients, on landing clients, on managing clients, on hiring employees. So having those conversations with your ideal customers can shape more than you ever realize. And it's something I've done a lot of in the restaurant world. This is the biggest influx of those conversations I've had in that short of a time, but it was perfect. Eating while traveling is brutal. That's another key. That's one of my takeaways. If you're just joining me, go back and watch it. I'm going through my takeaways from being gone 20 of 25 days, 5 cities, 2 road trips, 3 air travels. Eating stuff. There was times when I did a decent job in the airports buying raw almonds and a water and drinking some coffee versus Coke. And, it's tough, especially when you go to food shows. If you've ever been to a food show, the Vegas Pizza Expo was pizza everywhere. So, tough. But it was tough. Exercise, same thing. Exercise was tough. I got a lot of it in. Probably got a half of what I would have liked to get in. But I got some in. And I can honestly tell you that helped me get through more of the days. Helped me really keep my energy going. I had people ask me, Matt, how are you up till 2 a.m. and back up at 6 a.m. and then gone all day and meeting and doing this and then back? Honestly, it showed me that the preparation I did beforehand in the last 8 to 10 years of being an exercise freak helped me do this and helped me really get through it and power through it. And I could tell also some of the people, I won't point you out, but some of the people who are on this trip that are younger than me that aren't as healthy, and granted, I don't think I'm the healthiest guy, but some of the people that I know, friends of mine that need to make some exercise changes, I could tell it in them. It would be halfway through the day and you could see it in their face, their body movements, their mannerisms, that they were going down. And at that time I was going up. So it showed me the importance, the huge importance of being able to move and keep moving. What is this one? Oh, this is a key one. I learned that the majority of entrepreneurs don't know 1/10 of what I'll say we know. If you're watching this and you're a marketer, I hear a lot of times from marketers like, man, Matt, I don't have the experience in this. How do I convey that to some of my ideal clients? And I feel like I don't know enough to really do videos. That's a big key element I hear. I hear from a lot of people, I don't know enough to do a video like this to teach them. Guess what? You do. The upwards of hundreds, close to 1,000 restaurateurs I've talked to in the past month, the entrepreneurs, I've talked to a lot of business owners, I've talked to a lot of CEOs. They don't have a clue about digital marketing, about marketing in general. Number one question as I was traveling, when I was at shows, was, what is this? Now, this doesn't have to do with marketing, but it kind of does. It's a camera tripod. It's what the phone I'm working on right now doing this live is on. What do you use it for? Videos. Oh yeah, videos are huge. Are you doing them? No. So I can just tell you, they don't know what you know. And don't take your knowledge base for granted. Because even though you might think, okay, I don't know as much as Matt Plapp does on Facebook ads for restaurants, what you know is 100 times more than the restaurant owners know. And the fact that you can help them is amazing. I got a point I'll get to later about that. Wow, this last one's impactful, and it's above my head. Right here. That's hard to do backwards. ROI. But one thing I noticed, and maybe it's my own damn fault, because I've structured my entire company, my entire offerings. My program is called the ROI Engine. My division, my company is called the ROI Experts. We are held to a different standard than anything else. At the Pizza Expo, at the restaurant show, at the conversations I've had, none of these restaurateurs put that expectation on anything else. Not the sign they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on, not the internal stuff in their business, not their other marketing. They have zero clue about what it costs to convert somebody to a customer. They have zero clue about what the return on investment is on 99% of what they're doing. Now, I'm not just talking marketing. I'm talking within their business. And yet when you actually show them metrics of how they can get an ROI, they want to pick it apart. And so I learned that that is a foreign language. Even though a lot of them like to use it, return on investment, they're not holding that to any standard. They're not holding it to anything else. They're not taking and going, okay, I spent $100,000 on this big sign on the inside my restaurant. Oh, I can't spend $1,000 with that because I don't know if it's going to work. Well, did that sign do anything? Could you have spent $1,000 on that sign versus 100 or 10 grand? Do you even need the sign? Do you need a giant fancy thing in your restaurant that says the Budweiser beer wall? Like I was at a place near St. Louis, near the stadium, and it was, I think, apparently a restaurant owned by Budweiser. But you see the different things they're spending money on, like when I was at the Pizza Expo and walking booth to booth to booth, and you hear the conversations. They're not holding anything to a standard of return on investment. So the fact that we can show in our program return on investment how $1 does this is huge. But I learned a key element there, a key problem, is that they don't understand if that's valuable or not. None of them know their acquisition costs. Like our new ROI dashboard with the ROI Engine has a line down there because of a guy named Peter Wiley who runs a big brand that we work with, talked about, Matt, this is awesome because it shows me the acquisition costs. It shows me what it costs to get a customer. Well, here's the problem I found out in that at the Pizza Expo especially. They don't know that number with any other medium. And so when I say, hey, this might cost you $20 to get a person to walk in here or $4, they don't know if 4 is good or 20 is good or 100 is good because they've never had it. So ROI is foreign to them. And that's one thing that having these conversations that I mentioned earlier, the key element in allowing me to really understand how to talk to them about that. People are resilient. If you're just tuning in, I'm going back through what I learned in being gone 20 of 25 days. I see a lot of people tuning in right now, and if you're watching this in the recording, you've been in here the whole time. But people are resilient is number 10. And what I mean by that is if you let people do something on their own, they'll figure it out and they'll make it happen. I was gone 20 of 25 days. My hands-on with my team the last 20 of those 25 days, or I guess the last 25 days, has not been anywhere close to what it normally is. Yet they powered through. I won't mention any names because I don't want to leave anybody off, but everybody powered through. Everybody got their jobs done. Could some of them have been done better? Yeah. Could that have been fixed by me being a better leader? Hell yeah. But my team powered through. They took initiative. They took things. I got an email, I think it was about 10 days ago, as we added about, 5 or 8, probably 5 to 6 restaurants at one point during the process. And Ashley shot me an email. We have a pretty unique system that I developed along with her to adding clients and how they're onboarded, how they're put in the system. And she emailed me, and should have, basically going, dude, like what you've done the past 2 weeks with adding these clients is not the system. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I screwed it up. She got it done. She powered through. She took what I gave her and she made it work. But she was driving home a point that was well taken, and I already knew it, was that when you're back, it needs to go back to normal so that we can do our job better and more efficiently, because I caused a lot of hiccups in there, being gone and being lazy and doing things half-ass with regards to giving them what they need to do their job. But people are resilient. They figured it out. They take the ball, they run. And one of my next points on here was, where'd it go? Oh, don't sweat the small stuff. There was little things in there that got dropped, little details, little issues that happened, little accidents. You know what? Fix it and move on. You sweat the small stuff, there's no use in worrying about what happened in the past. Next, plan more downtime. One thing I really regret, and I'm doing this my next trip, is I actually planned an entire day of downtime. I'm going to California, having a mastermind in San Diego. Flying out Wednesday, May 1st. Billy Jean's having a big event. Go to his event. It's going to be awesome. May 2nd in San Diego. He's then having a smaller event May 3rd in his office, I think for about 25 people. I'll be there. Wouldn't miss it. And then I'm having an event May 4th in San Diego. We're rented a giant house Amazing place. We're going to have a mansion, not a house, a mansion. We're going to have another event there. This one's going to be on mindset, sales, closing deals, goals. It's going to be gold. Got a guy named Chris Patterson from Florida. If you don't know him, look him up. He's legit. He's been mentored by Zig Ziglar personally. He follows Zig's system. I hired Chris as a coach recently. Looking forward to deep diving into that. But he is going to be there along with a handful of other people talking to agencies about how to grow your agency, how to set goals, how to achieve goals. I need that. How to get your mindset right, how to close deals, how to nurture clients, how to find clients. It's going to be all about agency, getting clients, growing your business, all that good stuff. But guess what? That Sunday, there's going to be a lot of networking that I'm going to let people have. But me personally, I'm planning nothing. We're near the beach. We're near Mother Nature. I'm going to figure out a way that whole day. I'm trying to convince my wife to come. Haven't succeeded with that yet. I'm working on it. But if she comes, great. If not, I'm going to spend the whole day with Matt Platt. And so plan downtime. I didn't plan downtime on any of these trips. And I regret it because I never got a chance to catch up on me. Let's see. Time change sucks with regards to one element for me. The only part it got me on was it was numerous times I didn't call back and tell my kids good night and my wife good night because the time gets to you. It's 8 o'clock where you're at, but it's 11 at home. And so there were numerous times where, like, I like to tell my kids every night, good night, I love you. I like to tell my wife, good night, I love you. And there were numerous times where I'd talk to them at 4 or 5 o'clock my time, which is, 7, 8 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'll call you before bed. Or in my mind, I said that. And I turn around and it's 11 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock my time or 9 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll call them. Like, hold on. Crap, it's midnight there. So set alarms when you have things you want to do on the other side, on the other coast. That's a key element. Be prepared. I'm a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. And one of the biggest things in being an Eagle Scout and the Scout Oath is be prepared. And the reason I say that is things don't always go as planned. I had a speaker not show up at one of my events. I had a booth that got moved 20 minutes before the event. Be prepared, roll with the punches, make it happen, get over it. Sometimes those things are going to happen. Sometimes people aren't going to show, they're going to be late. Sometimes they're going to be early. But be prepared. And also, big key moment there, do what you promise you're going to do. Because I can tell you, there was times that in this time when I was gone, that people didn't do what they promised. I had one time myself where I actually thought about not doing something I had committed to because I was beat. And I said, I can't do that. That person's expecting me to help do that. I'm going to do it. I had times where people promised me to do things they didn't. I had times where people promised me to do things and they did more. Be prepared for what's going to happen. The unexpected will happen. 15. And if you're just tuning in, go back and watch. I'm covering my 25 days of being gone, 20 of 25 gone, my top takeaways. There's some good stuff here that can help your business. 2 more points left, then we're done. 15. Stick to what you do. Some of the problems in my business the past month have come from me agreeing to do stuff for businesses that aren't what we do. We have a certain system we stick to that we help restaurants with. We should stick to it. A couple of little issues I've gotten are because I've agreed to help them do something else. I should have told them no. Just like a restaurant has a menu, you walk in and say, hey, I want buffalo wings. We don't have buffalo wings. Oh, don't say, hey, we'll make you buffalo wings. They wouldn't do it. Most restaurants wouldn't. They don't have the product. If they do, they may not be trained in it. They might not deliver it. Do what you're good at, what you're great at, what you're supposed to do. Don't stray. Because the minute you stray, you now put your name associated with something that, 1, you might not do, and 2, you might not do great, and that's the impression you leave with people. And last but not least is this topic right here. And all these, again, are in no order, and I mentioned it earlier. The biggest question I got when I was on the road, and again, like I mentioned, I had hundreds of, if not thousands of conversations with decision makers in my businesses I work in. And what cracked me up was we gave away hundreds of these tripods at the shows. And you wouldn't believe the number of people that were like, man, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's a phone tripod. What do you use it for? Taking selfies? No, for recording videos. And I'd ask restaurateurs, you know the number one video topic in the country, in the world, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? Food. You know one of the least produced pieces of content on the internet? Food. By you, restaurant owners. By agencies working with restaurants. And then we had a guide we gave them on how to do marketing, which was even funnier because the guide we had, this cracks me up because you talk about the little details, I don't sweat it. The guide we had, the 5 tips were great. Nowhere on the sheet was our information. It was just the 5 tips to doing videos. So hopefully they'll see the back of the website here. But it was crazy the number of people that I talked to that are agencies, that are marketers, that are restaurateurs, that are entrepreneurs, that are not creating video content. They're not chronicling their journey. They're not telling stories. You know, the restaurants I talked to, and I got, literally hundreds of them. Well, Matt, give me an idea. And I'd pull the sheet out and say, hey, here's 5 tips. I want you to put this on your food expo at the restaurant. It stays there. And every morning your chef comes in, turns on and goes, what's up? It's Chef Matt. Here's what we got on the grill today. Maybe you have the same thing on the grill every day. Highlight a different version of it. Highlight a new menu item. Talk about why he loves being a chef. Whatever. But create content. So that's all I got. If you're just watching this, rewind it, watch it. If you're tuning in late, I went over my last 25 days, gone 20 days, 6 different flights, 9 different planes, couple different cars, 1,500 miles driven, a mansion, 4 hotels, 30 speaking sessions I attended, 40 plus meetings, hundreds of conversations with executives and marketers and restaurant owners, many speeches, and over 200 copies of my book in the hands of the ideal person. What I learned from it, why you can learn from it. I got to go actually work today. I'll see you later.